And there we go. Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. It is 2:59. As a matter of fact, 2:59 and 22 seconds. And so we're almost at the London Open. It's Thursday, December the 1st. Can you believe that? It's hard to believe that we are already in December, the month of Christmas and all the other holidays, depending on where you are in the world and what your background is. But wow. And it's cold outside here in the New York zone, and so it certainly feels like it is in fact holiday season. And we're seeing Christmas lights and stuff, holiday lights already up all around the neighborhood here, and so it's very much a reality. All right, what are we looking at here today? Well, today we're going to be looking at the NASDAQ, as we have been for the last several weeks since we've started, YouTubing here on social media and Twitter and what have you. Been focused very much on the NASDAQ for the videos. I do trade other things as well. Took a gold trade this morning when I woke up 2 something a.m. It's again 3 a.m. my time, but London Open just opened, by the way. You see that first candle right there, the background color changing on my screen. And we'll watch that. I'm not going to jump into anything here. I typically wait for that first 10-minute candle to complete before even considering taking a trade. Not always the case, but usually the case. And so we'll watch that develop now. But I took a gold trade this morning. Why don't I show that to you here? There it is, the 2R. Nice 2R winner. 1.4, 1.5. Let me just check my own platform. I kind of walked away to get some coffee and things here for the stream, I should say. My exit was, my exit was 90 even. So where was that? Right here. Yep. 90 down here. That's what I thought. Okay, 1.7R winner on gold this morning, and it's very much a technical breakdown here on the chart. You know, the way I enter trades if you watch my videos. A break and close below the zone, a pullback, a nice wick, about 50% of the previous candle, not quite, certainly of the previous body, and then a break below. So a nice, easy, stress-free kind of a trade. But now we're trading the NASDAQ, and watching to see what happens here. Huge day yesterday for those who were trading yesterday when Fed Chair Powell began to speak in the New York session. This is what happened. This is Asia, this is London, and this is New York. It was an incredibly sluggish, range-bound Asia, 24-point amplitude for the entire session. In other words, from the low to the high of the entire Asian session was about 24, 25 points in the NASDAQ. Not much more on the London session. And then until Chairman Powell began to speak, there was really not much happening here either. And then there was this explosion to the upside with a 500-point move. You heard that right. One of the bigger intraday moves in history. One of them, certainly top 10 in my memory. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm pretty close on that. And intraday moves, of course, right? And here we sit. Now I've been going sideways ever since the close, of course, the actual close of New York. Regular trading hours is here. Went a little bit higher after that. And then through Asia, been meandering, now moving into London, sitting in the middle of that range. We'll see what the market has to offer today as a result of that. All right, just responding to my group here. Telegram group, welcome you to join that group too. There is no charge for that. No charge for anything that we do here. Just sharing for the love of the game. Have a great day. Probably hear me typing to my group here as we start this session. I'm also going to take you over to what I call the Four Sisters. These are 1-minute charts of indices. The NASDAQ on the left, then the Dow, S&P, and the DAX, German index on the far right. Very messy this morning. Very, very sloppy. Very messy. Nothing going on here. All right. Bring you back now for the time being to the 10-minute chart. And what I typically look for are 10-minute reasons to enter. And then we take a look at the 1-minute chart to refine those entries. I use a 20 EMA on the 1-minute chart, but it's completely up to you what you use. Obviously, for any of this, it's up to you what you use. I'm going to focus now only on the 10-minute chart until we get something here. Excuse me. And what I typically do is use the opening 10-minute candle. That 10-minute candle right there, which I believe will expand before we're done here. We still have 5 minutes left in it. Becomes my opening range, inside of which I typically don't take any trades. And once it's broken and closed outside of it, I'll erase this and I will take trades inside of that range if it goes back into it under certain circumstances. But generally speaking, this becomes my opening range. All right. What I'm going to do is put you on pause or on mute. No, on pause, so that you can you don't have to sit through the sideways grind, and I'll bring you back if anything interesting happens. I'm doing that for you, not for me. Several minutes might pass for me, but only 1 second for you. Here we go, on pause now. Okay, guys, we're back here in the last 45 seconds of this opening candle. And remember, when I let you go into pause, this was a fairly strong white candle, I believe, when I click pause. And now, of course, it's a blue candle. This is what we often see. And the reason why I always wait for these candles to close before even considering taking a trade. Let this candle close now, and we'll see what the next one has to offer in the next 20 seconds. But what I will say is this: even if this price action, breaks out of this initial opening range, my expanded opening range must include this support zone down here, because inside of that there's nothing much to play with. Makes sense? Hope so. And then I will also expand to include this body here at the very least. All right. Just going to send this off now to my group. All right, watching closely now. Now we have an inside bar, right? It's a candle inside of the previous candle. The previous candle was the opening candle for the range. And so there's nothing for me here. I'm going to put you back on pause again. I'll bring you back if anything interesting happens. Price is pushing up a little bit. I'll bring you back. Put you on pause now. All right, guys, a few minutes have passed, and I'm just bringing you back to show you how range-bound and sluggish and sloppy this is. We still have an inside bar, meaning that the high is lower than the previous high, and the low is higher than the previous high. And so inside of that one, right? Now we just started the third. We're into the third 10-minute candle now of this session. And just kind of watching it. So I'm going to put you back on pause. I'll bring you back. Pause now. All right, guys, we're back. We're finally getting a little bit of movement here. Okay? So you see the first candle there, of course. The first 10-minute candle became my minimum open range. I expanded that to include surrounding resistance, certainly this big candle here, and surrounding support, which is down here. And now we've got some clean traffic here to the downside, and we're pushing down outside of that zone. So things start getting a little bit interesting here. And watch this candle now. See how it closes. I will bring you back in a couple of minutes. Here we go. All right, guys, I am back. 55 seconds left in this candle. We're getting a push down. It's not yet a convincing break to me. It is a break. Okay, now it's pushing down a little bit more. I may consider here taking a short. I might even be looking for a 1 to 2 here. Risking 1 hour to make 2. Not yet. I'll let you know what I'm doing here. Give me one moment. Just going over to my own platform here as well. See what makes sense here. 9 seconds left, 7 seconds left. Yeah, not a very big bottom wick. I would like to see more, so I'm not touching this thing unless we get a pullback. I can let this thing go without me. I have no problem doing that. Yeah, be looking for the bottom of that body actually. That's what we'll probably go for here. It's a bit more than, it's about 1.2 R. If we get that flip. .3. That's better for an upper wick. Let me show you this too. Nice synchronicity between the 4 indices. So this is a concerted move amongst NASDAQ participants, Dow participants, S&P participants, and DAX participants. And DAX probably most relevant here, quite frankly, because this is the London session. In other words, there's actually, the market's not even open yet and won't be for another 6 hours. It's 3:31 my time. Market doesn't open until 9:30 my time. The U.S. actual market. So this is obviously the futures market, the very much early or deep pre-market for the NASDAQ, and that's the one we happen to be trading, right? A lot of people ask me why I do that, and I've covered it off in videos, but the bottom line is we can do it now with liquid futures with platforms like Interactive Brokers who have very tight spreads and make it a nice liquid market, very manageable. All right. There's nothing for me here. Canceling that idea. All right, guys, we're back into the range. I'm going to end the stream there. Let me just pull it. Yeah, here we go. See, back into the range there. We actually went right back to the center of the opening range, or my opening range, I should say. And we did not get faked out like many traders would have this morning by taking this, thinking that, okay, the move is definitely down now. And with all this open air, this is zero gravity. It's obviously a very clear sell signal. And of course, it wasn't yet. It could absolutely become. And I would not be shocked if it becomes a sell at some point. But it most certainly is not now. I'm going to end the stream. I want to thank you for joining me. We will come back later on here in London if we get other setups and or in New York. We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Have an amazing December 1st. Can't believe that. But anyway, have a great day. Take care.